Punta Arenas, translated Sand Point, is the capital city in Costa Rica with about 100,000 inhabitants who are living in a tropical climate. The beach at the port was generally made up of like sand and dirt mixed together and wasn't as inviting as in other places. But we saw many different colors and vendors along the way.
Welcome to Costa Rica, sir.
Once again.
My name is Juan. Are you joining us?
No.
Otherwise, I will charge you. Well, actually, this is where we are right now, downtown Punta Arenas. We're heading down to the rainforest area, which is our main destination. Around here, you will see wildlife species such as monkeys, macaws, toucans, eagles, hawks, falcons, egrets, herons, and more species of birds mainly. Besides, we will show you all culture. You will see fruits in season and fruits not in season. On our way back, we will include a city tour without extra cost.
Okay, this is on YouTube, so who are you?
My name is Juan. It takes one to know Juan at gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook that way. Like this.
Bueno.
It takes one to know Juan at gmail.com.
Very good. Thank you.
The vendors that were located just off of the pier had such a variety of local artisan work, t-shirts, all kinds of knickknacks. But I have to say that my biggest regret on this cruise was not taking up Juan on that offer to go on a tour, because just getting off the boat here and ending up in this area was not as satisfying. Once you got off of the area where all these beautiful wares were, it was pretty run down, not very clean. There were some people who were just living outside along the way. It didn't give you a full understanding of the beauty of Costa Rica, and I really regret not signing up for a tour and actually getting to a little bit more to the interior, to the rainforest and all that was offered, because some of the fellow travelers that took tours here were just amazed at what they saw. For us, it was just a short shopping visit, and then we walked around just this immediate area and back on the ship. And that's one of the things that really is a challenge, is to figure out your stamina, how many places you want to get off and go on the tours, because the tours are anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. And so we opted to take a break at this stop, which I have to say I regret. I loved all the choices. You know, the craftware. It was really hard though for me. Some of the items you could tell were very much made locally, but some I'm not even sure that it was here in Costa Rica where it was made. So I pretty much was very discerning, although this artisan, he was there and they were absolutely fabulous. Paintings and rock work all combined was a very different and interesting form of art. We took a stroll down the street. It was a very warm day, hence the hat and sunscreen. It looked to us that they were making a real effort to clean up their parks, and no camping was allowed on this beach. But look at how they painted the trunks of the trees. That has got to be a sense of humor in their city council. It doesn't look like it, but it was a very warm day. There were a lot of open-air restaurants along the way. And at this particular one, I swear the menu looked so similar to one of those Red Robin restaurants. It was just packed with choices.
Café negro, ¿vale?
Yeah,
I really love those vases.
I like the one you got.
Si usa los dos, te los dejo en $15. $14. Los dos.
So, how would we get this home?
It's got to be in the luggage.
Dime esos dos.
How much?
10, $15.
15?
Y $10.
Well, it was back on the ship for us. They look like the tallest buildings in town. You did have to have your ID, though, to get past the checkpoint, and you had to show everything that was in your bag. But the best part of returning to ship was that there was always someone there greeting you with a cool, wet towel and a cold glass of lemon water. Arriving in Nicaragua, I came with so many preconceived notions about the country. The one thing I've learned in this travel is that the job of tour guide is one of the country's most important jobs. That those people who are tour guides here are highly educated and actually are paid very well. Most of our tour guides, including the one here in Nicaragua, are school teachers. They have to have a breadth of knowledge to pass on and to support their country, and we were not disappointed on this tour. Elvis was one of our top tour guides.
A lot of lakes. Now, just get this fact. Nicaragua is the largest of all the countries in Central America. Do you know how many countries do we have in Central America? Just try to guess a number. 22. And be part of the tour. What were the 5 original countries in Central America, Senora? 5 originals. Oh, I will reformulate the question. What were the 2 countries that now are part of Central America that didn't belong to Central America?
Our tour was taking us to Leon and Colonial Leon, which is a historical site. It's actually a UNESCO World History Site. And it was just really interesting to be able to see how the locals live, their culture, the colors. It was interesting for Elvis to tell us that, in fact, most Nicaraguans do not own dishwashers. They, in fact, make their children wash their plates when they get up from the table. They obviously have no problems with color, and their HOA doesn't make them paint all the same. It was fascinating to be so close to a volcano. As we passed, there were people making a pilgrimage, a 25-plus mile walk with the Virgin Mary on a very hot day. Leon, Nicaragua is the second largest city and was in fierce competition with Grande, which for the title of capital of Nicaragua. Of course, Grande won because of its wealth, huge expat community, many Americans live there, multinational companies, whereas Leon, Nicaragua is filled with students, artists, poets, and they have a palatable dislike for the multinational companies. But before we hit Leon, we headed to the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Originally built in 1524, it disappeared in 1610, having been buried by numerous earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. It was again discovered in 1967 and became a heritage site. It was wonderful to walk around these unearthed areas where the buildings were built actually in the same kind of grid that any city would have been built in. Then we hiked to the top where we could see Lake Managua and Momotombo. Nicaragua, the land of water and volcanoes. Our arrival into New Leon brought us to a center square or park with a church and many vendors and businesses surrounding the outside circumference of the park. Everyone is trying to make a living here, and so you'll be just inundated with people wanting to sell you stuff. That was a little disconcerting for me, but it was nice to take a break in this beautiful church. You had to take your hat off because it is a church that is having services currently. They've been working on restoring the interior and exterior, and it was gorgeous. Although Nicaragua was predominantly Catholic, the Protestant religion has been making a headway because of their evangelical support provided for local people, whereas there would be only one priest for several thousand people.
No.
You want to look?
Okay.
What was the size of the other one?
The common thread through these Central American countries is color. If you come to León, be prepared to walk. The streets do not allow for, much parking. As we headed back to the ship, we saw a big crowd crash in the road. And our bus to go around just went right on to the dirt. We enjoyed Elvis's serenading us as we headed back to our ship. What a great tour guide. We had a sweet little tour bus in Guatemala. There's not a whole lot to do in the port as you arrive, so you definitely want to be on a tour here. And there are many active volcanoes. We were heading up to Antigua, and as we headed there, we saw little puffs of steam and smoke coming out of the volcanoes. Antigua is at 4,000 feet, and they're big in coffee growing because coffee cannot grow at a lower elevation. Didn't I tell you? Color, color, color. Our first stop was at the Jade Museum. This huge chunk of jade is said to bring you good luck if you rub it. I think I rubbed it 3 or 4 times. It was interesting to see these artisans work. Jade definitely is the gem of Guatemala. On this tour, we were given the history, also the levels or standards of jade, the different types. We got to view jewelry, pieces of art, jade in the raw and jade polished. We had a little bit of time to shop if anybody wanted to purchase any jade. And then it was walking, walking, walking to the rum tour. Now, neither G or I are rum drinkers, but we thought this would be interesting. And I have to say, I was not disappointed at all. The place was beautiful, and the rum was actually very tasty. Of course, it helped to sit near someone who was actually knowledgeable about rum. Every tour is wrapped up with a little bit of shopping. This was my most enjoyable shopping experience. This building was filled with little booths that were drowning in color. I wish I had had more time here. And outside of the building were other vendors who were selling their wares. These 3 countries were definitely an enjoyable experience.